The IBF held a purse bid Thursday for its champion Teofimo Lopez and mandatory challenger Kambosos, and a who's who of promoters made their presence known, including Top Rank, Matchroom Boxing, and Triller. Ultimately, it was Triller and Ryan Kavanaugh who made their presence known by bidding a little over $6 million, more than doubling the amount combined by Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum. Arum was vocal since day one, saying that the fight was not worth a certain amount, and he was not afraid for Lopez to go and fight on a competing platform. After the purse bid completed on Thursday, I reached out to Arum to get his thoughts on how the purse bid transpired, how he plans on promoting Lopez moving forward, and what his thoughts were on Hearn jumping into the action and trying to steal the show. So here's our brief conversation from Thursday morning. I wanted to call and get your thoughts on this purse bid that just concluded.
Yeah, terrific. I mean, we made a lot of money, so that's really great. For us, it wasn't a big fight. This bid of over $6 million, we get 20% because it's a purse bid of Teofimo'S amount, so it comes to over $800,000 we made.
I mean, if you look at it from that perspective, making $800,000, not lifting a single pen, that's a nice return.
If this was a big fight, then obviously it's not. So it's great, and for them, they'll probably put it with the Tyson Holyfield thing, and that's going to do a lot of money, so they can afford it. So, again, no harm, no foul. We would have been pissed if Hearn put in a bid that he won, because that's bad policy for him to do that, because he has nothing to do with Teofimo. But he lost and pissed us off at the same time. But as far as Triller is concerned, shit, that's great.
What do you make of this big splash Triller is making now?
Because they have Holyfield Tyson, and they are spending this money in effect as marketing. They'll do a very good number with Holyfield Tyson, maybe even better that they have a real fight on the card. And so it's affordable for them, and it's not a bad move.
Mm-hmm. Do you have knowledge that Tyson Holyfield 3 is happening?
Well, this gives me all the knowledge in the world that it is.
Mm-hmm. Well,
because otherwise they wouldn't be insane. As a one-off, it makes no sense. But as part of that card, I can understand it.
Now, you mentioned you would be pissed if Matchroom had the card, but they actually outbid you by over $1 million.
Yeah, but again, no harm, no foul. I mean, yeah, we'll get back at them. I'm angry at them, yeah. But again, they didn't get it, and all they ended up doing was pissing us off, because I think it's just wrong. If he gets into a lot of purse bids, and we don't ever bid if we have no connection with the fighters who are the subject of the bid. I mean, we have a 3.5-year contract with Teofimo, and this is a one-off. Why would they want to bid it, put it on the zone, and then lose Teofimo, for the next 3.5 years? Makes no sense. But again, all they did was spend $5,000.
Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, Teofimo Lopez is making more money he could dream of for a fight of this caliber. Are you concerned of how your relationship with him might move forward?
No. He has a contract with us. There'll be regular negotiations on his fights. Maybe Triller is so happy with him, they'll give us a big number to buy our contract out, which is fine also.
Oh, so you would entertain that offer?
Of course.
Right. What do you make of Ryan Kavanaugh now? When we last talked about him, for the story, you mentioned that you think he's good for boxing. Do you still believe in that?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you know, he's done numbers with Tyson and Roy Jones that nobody else has done in boxing on pay-per-view. So again, yeah, he's not doing anything bad for boxing.
Mm-hmm. Now, specifically with this card, Bob, how do you move forward? Is this pretty much you bring Teofimo back to ESPN? Is ESPN saying what's going on here?
Yeah, ESPN. If Eddie Hearn had won the bid, we'd have a lot of explaining to do to ESPN. But Eddie Hearn didn't win the bid. $6 million won the bid. There's no explaining. They understand that. Fight's not worth anywhere near that to them.
Mm-hmm. Why did you take such a strong position as you did? Because obviously these guys are getting paid more than Lomachenko Lopez now. So
yeah, no question.
Why did you feel like you needed to hold your ground to make sure that?
Because we were only going to pay what the fight was worth.
What did you think it was worth? Obviously, you bid 2.3, but did you think it was actually worth that much?
No, we stretched a little bit. We thought that the fight should come in at $2 million.
Mm-hmm.
So because there was a bid, so we put in a little extra. Again,
mm-hmm. Obviously, you're mentioning Hearn gave you a low blow here. How does this work now moving forward with this big Joshua Fury fight that hasn't?
Oh no, shit! We're all pros. What are we gonna be angry at him on Joshua Fury, where everybody's gonna make a lot of money? That's stupid.
Mm-hmm. So,
but again, he better watch out the next time he goes to a purse bid, where the fighters have no connection with ESPN or Top Rank, and maybe we'll jam a bid up his ass. But nothing to do with Tyson. That's crazy.
A little sour moment to have Matchroom.
No, it's not. Again, that was a no harm, no foul. Just sends a message to us, which is good. But that has having no effect. As far as the Triller thing, I think it's wonderful that they put a bid in that way, and I hope it works out for them because, again, to make $800,000, in 5 minutes, pretty good money.
Do you think Triller is going to be like DAZN and inflate the market and further create these unrealistic expectations for fighters?
I think they might. From time to time. Their model is different, you see. Our model is we do 30 fights a year for events a year for ESPN. Their model will be like 2 or 3 pay-per-view fights a year. And if they come into the market for real boxing and inflate the price, so be it. Everybody makes good money.
Right. Well, when we last talked, when I asked you about Triller, you said, "Well, that's good for them, but the fans come to Top Rank and ESPN for the real fights." So now they're putting on a real fight.
Okay, but this isn't. I mean, if you had your choice to see Teofimo and Kambosos or to see Valdez and Burchelt, which would you want to see? Valdez and Burchelt, because it figures to be a better fight.
I'd watch the replay of Valdez Burchelt.
Yeah. So again, no knock on them, but this isn't like a premier attraction, like a must-see fight, like a significant fight. This is a fight between a guy who just beat Lomachenko and somebody who is not an elite fighter.
Right. So, Bob,
if this was Teofimo and Ryan Garcia, that would be a lot different.
Mm-hmm. How much do you think that fight's worth?
Well, we have to see, don't we? Again, the I think that fight could, when it happens, will be worth a lot of money. But again, let's see. Let's just see. We don't know the effect of the pandemic. You see, one of the problems with pay-per-view is you can't do closed circuit because these restaurants are closed.
Right.
So again, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I mean, I think that all these old names. I mean, that's why Oscar is talking about a comeback.
Mm-hmm. Bob, how do you handle Teofimo if he comes back to you and ESPN with a loss?
With a what?
What if he loses? How do you handle Teofimo at that point? Like, he left out.
We have a contract, and his minimum gets greatly reduced, and he either fights or doesn't fight.
Right.
Yeah, it's easy. I mean, and he comes back to us, he wins, which figures, comes back to us, and wants to get the same money that he got before, and the answer is no. And so he sits out for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't pay what you don't have.
Right. Well, obviously, Triller is opening up the bank account, and I think Ryan Kavanaugh is officially a competitor to you now.
No, he isn't. No, he isn't. No, he isn't. If Ryan Kavanaugh had contacted me, let's say, and said, "Look, we'll give you close to $1 million. We wanted Teofimo for the fight," you don't think I would have agreed?
Right.
Because Triller is not competition to ESPN.
Right.
ESPN is a totally different business. So Triller is not the competition. ESPN could care less that Teofimo is on Triller.